It looks like we're live.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hello.
I'm so excited. I still wait a few seconds just to let people stream in. Hi. If you guys want to say like where you're from, better yet, share your Halloween costume plans. If you have them. I'm so curious. I just bought. Did I? Oh, I showed you guys.
Hey, we got Jade.
Yay! Hi, Jade.
Cynthia
Potato. Good. That's all.
You're on the Kawaii Riot team. Fantastic costume. Hey from Australia. Another fantastic costume. Also, hi, fellow Australian.
Couch potato. Yeah. I just got. I'm not wearing them now because you wouldn't be able to see them, but I got like a body built harness thing and it has wings on it, so I'm gonna wear that. That's my yes. I'm really excited.
This is the only dressing up I'm gonna do, so
that's fine. It's cute.
Oh my god, it's so weird seeing people refer to Halloween as tomorrow because it's Halloween today.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never.
Yeah, I just got it.
That's fine. Like 1 more minute. No, it's not. I've never heard of Listen Flavor, but I will look after this panel.
Yeah, they have a lot of really cute, like kind of pastel goth stuff. I have a like teddy metal little hoodie from them.
Oh, I'm so ready. My birthday is November 1st, so I am.
Good excuse.
Yeah, fair. All right.
So it's afternoon for you, Cora?
Yeah, someone asked what the time was here, and I didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
That's fair. Oh, thank you. Oh, everyone's so cute. Thank you. I'm turning 23, so we are progressing through life. Konnichiwa.
Hi, Machi.
Oh, Scorpio energy. True. Okay. Well, I'm so flattered. There's so many sweet people. Yes, Halloween. We're all Halloween babies, so that's definitely the truth. Wow. All right, so I think we can get started. So, welcome, guys. This is Overcoming Fear in the J Fashion and Cosplay community. We'll go ahead and introduce ourselves and the panel. So basically, Kawaii Riot and us three, we thought it'd be really nice to have a panel that basically talks about the fears that we face when we're trying new styles, no matter what kind of style that is, and cosplay. We're kind of just gonna talk with each other about those experiences and then go through the different strategies that we have in order to overcome those fears. We also want to remind everyone that this is a brave space, so feel free to talk in the chat. Be vulnerable if you're comfortable with being vulnerable. We're going to be vulnerable, and we'll be with you, so have at it. Also, if you come up with a really good question and you're like, oh man, I have to say it, don't say it yet. There will be a time at the end of it. The screen will say Q&A, so we should have enough time to address as many questions as we can. So yeah. All right, hi, I'm Lauren Ortio. I'm Chicago-born cosplayer, writer, and founder of the movement called A Mile of Kind. Basically, it's a movement where I write letters to strangers, hoping that I can motivate them. I often do it in restaurants because you never get to meet the chef, and that frustrates me. So I thank them for the food, things like that. Basically, I write a lot about mental health, motivation on Facebook, and now Instagram. So yeah, that's me, and I'm happy to meet you guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Cora, and I go by Cora Maria as like my pen and influencer name. I am an Australian content creator with a passion for sustainable alternative fashion. I like to write to encourage people to be kinder to the planet, because if kindness is a kawaii act, then what could be more kawaii than showing kindness to the planet and the people who make our clothes. That was much smoother in rehearsal.
It's okay.
Okay.
You're good.
The cutest sentiment. So cute.
Really?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm a disabled artist from Wisconsin in the US. I am kind of new to Kawaii Riot. I joined mid September. I like engaging in activism for disability and LGBT issues specifically. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm trying to raise awareness and kindness for others with my art. And of course, I enjoy all kinds of alt fashion and cosplay. It's why we're here. So,
The bear is an excellent touch. It's truly great. Okay, so we're just gonna go through our timeline. Cora, Charlie, this is probably my favorite part because it's just funny to see the old photos, but also just to kind of go through it on screen is funny. But yes, so I personally, I think in high school was when I mostly experimented a lot with my fashion. I'd always been interested in clothes, but I never really subscribed to one specific fashion. Certainly not one specific facet of J fashion. That was until there was a J fashion walk in Chicago, and that's what the first photo is from. Actually, you guys probably know one of the founders of that, Kamila. From Hard Cora was there. That's where I met her. So yeah, I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, well, I'd like to kind of create my own style, create a definition for what it might be, but I hadn't really gotten to a place where I was brave enough to figure out what that was for me. Fast forward to college, still kind of playing around with the idea of like flowy things and belts, as you can see in the second photo, which is funny because the flowy thing is just a scarf, but that's fine.
really digging the Kingdom Hearts energy on that second one, though.
Thank you. That was my first video game. I'm glad. Please out me. I think my main fear, or the thing that held me back the most, really was anxiety. I had this, not really a condition, but something that I call first person syndrome. So it's kind of like whenever I'm wearing something that's outlandish or that could be seen as unique, when I went outside, it kind of felt like everyone was looking at me like I was the main character. And that held me back from wearing all the things that I wanted to wear. I ended up landing an internship in Japan, I think my junior year of college. And that was like the new beginning for me because Harajuku, but also but also because it was like a fresh start. No one knows you. You're surrounded by a lot of different people trying on like tutus over pants, over leggings, over platform shoes, and completely shameless. So it allowed me to kind of ask that question, am I going to allow anxiety to hold me back when I know that I can do something really great? Or am I going to figure out some way to use my anxiety in a way to make a positive change? So the fourth photo is me the day I came back from Japan. It's one of my favorite photos because I can tell that I have that confidence. Thank you. That shirt. I am so happy I found that shirt. It's really
so
fun to wear. If I find a second one, I'll ship it to you. I really will.
Let me know.
I will. Yes, I wore that, and then the fifth photo, we'll get into it a little bit more, but I started documenting my fashion, and with each documentation photo, I think my confidence grew even more.
Hi, so it's me next. Woo! So for this, I just did a little bit of a timeline. So the first picture is me at my very first fashion walk. And this was my first time going out in public in full decor and stuff. And we'll get into that a bit later, but a lot of the fears I had around then was that I was afraid of what people might think because the community wasn't very active in my city back then. So I felt like I'd be very much alone and everything. The second one is a year later. I had improved a lot, and a lot of my friends pointed that out to me at that one. And it's more of a sort of by the book decora, and it had a lot of pieces that a lot of people within Brisbane had at the same time. Moving on, this middle one is really interesting because this is sort of my transition when I was learning more about sustainability and sustainable fashion and like rediscovering my style through that and essentially facing a lot of anxiety and fear and guilt over my complacency in an industry that is like very flawed and problematic and everything. And that shirt was actually the first time I ever invested in a sustainable fashion brand. And it was also when I was experimenting with my gender expression more and going for something a bit more androgynous. And then we have the latest Harajuku fashion walk that happened last year, because I don't want this year, which was my probably like one of my most political outfits because it's not visible here, but on the back of the vest I wore thank you, Jade. I wore on the back of the vest, it was painted Eco Girl, and it was a gift from my friend Catherine, who a lot of you might know as the Stitches, and she custom made it for me. I love it.
I love that. I want to see it.
Yeah, but I was actually like going out like into my community and just like openly flashing like, yeah, care about the planet. And then this final one, what I wore to Pride last year, and I wanted to put it in because it's different from what I wore to my first Pride, which I don't have many pictures of. But essentially for my first Pride, I was a bit afraid to like stand out too much because I was still reckoning with like whether or not I'm queer enough to say I'm queer. But at that particular Pride, that was the first time where I just went all out, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear so many rainbows because it's my flag too.
Truly. Just make it so that they can't not look at you. Hack.
Exactly. Hi, I'm here and I'm queer and yeah.
Yes. So I guess it is my turn now. So for that first picture there, I think I was in college at that time, but growing up for most of high school and early college, my style was very much simply gothic and punk and pretty much nothing else. I kind of used it as an armor in a way, just because I had a lot of bullying growing up for my disfigurement and my disabilities, and so I wanted to put forth this tough exterior. But obviously, as you can see now, I don't really care about that because I am a sweet cinnamon roll, and sometimes I just want to dress like it. And that is totally cool. My second photo there is my first cosplay. Yes, I know it's Homestuck. Please ignore.
No. If someone can call me out for Kingdom Hearts, we're gonna call you out for Homestuck. But also acceptance. We don't.
Yeah, it was my first cosplay, and it was more of a casual cosplay because just my natural state of being, I always wear glasses. My hair is naturally brown, and it's usually long. It wasn't as long in that picture there. And I had braces at the time, so I just kind of fit the aesthetic already, and I just kind of went for it. That fourth picture there is my most recent cosplay, so I kind of wanted to show the progress there. The first one was just a shirt that I bought and a skirt that my mom helped me fit and sew that we found from Goodwill. And then the second cosplay there, I feel like I really went all out, I guess.
Is this Persona?
Yeah, so that's Futaba Sakura from Persona 5. She was so fun to cosplay, and that was at Daisho Con. We had a little photo shoot. It was so fun. My third picture there is the first time I ever wore Lolita. So I was afraid to wear Lolita, kind of what Cora had been talking about with gender expression and androgyny, I was afraid of Lolita because of how feminine a style I thought it was. And it looked like so much fun. And my best friend was very active in our local comm at the time. And I just wanted to wear some cool, poofy, witchy dresses. And so I completely borrowed that cord. I don't think, other than the wig, all of that was borrowed just so that I could see how I felt in it and whether I was okay with gender expression. And if I got dysphoric from it, I fell in love with it. And then that fifth picture there is completely my own cord. And I feel like I really, I don't know, grew into my own with Lolita, I guess. I'm much more into mixing Gothic and Kawaii styles now, but that is definitely my favorite Lolita cord for sure.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite photos of you. When we first saw it, I was like, oh, Charlie, it's so cute. Also, just, I think the way that you carry yourself really sells it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, so it's funny because I feel like when we were kind of pitching this panel idea to each other, we were like, well, there's not one moment, one like singular movie moment where you realize that you're confident about something. The clouds part and then the sun comes down, and you're like, wow, my problems are gone. But for the three of us, coincidentally, there are at least one key moment. And for me, it's actually a breakout. So I'll go through that little story. So I think it was 2018, I got really bad acne scars from the side of my temple all the way down my cheeks, like on both sides, and then even underneath my chin. And before that, I'd never worn makeup other than like eyeliner. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do concealer because I knew personally for me, it would probably feed into my insecurity. So I kind of had the decision, how do I still be creative with makeup without feeding into that fear? And what I ended up doing is I decided to combine the makeup with things that I loved. So for example, like this one photo, I really love clouds, like one of my favorite things. So in the beginning, I would cover the acne scars with clouds so that it's not as if I am ashamed of the acne, but it's more like I'm celebrating my face as like a canvas. So as I continue to sort of do the different types of things on my face or paint, sometimes I'll use legitimate paint, but most times it's like eyeshadow or different types of sparkles and different types of eyeliner all over my face. And so basically what that ended up doing, it kind of gave me like a portfolio of images where I have butterflies all over my face or body, or I have flowers. I've done like sunset, which I think you can kind of see on one of my eyes up there. And eventually there was a stylist or a fashion designer who was showing her collection at BlurredCon. And I had been interested in fashion shows for a long time, but I'd never done one at like a convention or anything like that. She ended up finding me on Facebook and then on Instagram. And so she scouted me to model different designs for her in Washington, D.C. So yeah, I was like, wow, it's happening so fast, the roller coaster. But truly, it was nice for me because I was given this moment where I could have kind of fallen back on my old habits of feeling really unsure about things, but instead I decided to figure out a mindset that worked for me. And so now I do actually still have acne scars. You can probably see them. And they don't give me anxiety anymore because like I know how to change my mindset so that I'm comfortable in my skin. Oh, Corey, you're muted. It's
So,
okay.
my family apparently didn't get the memo that they need to be a little bit right now. And the storm's coming back. Yay! Okay. Anyway, let's get into this. So I mentioned I was going to come back to this because my moment of confidence really was the Brisbane Harajuku Fashion Walk back in 2016. I'd always had like a little bit of a passing interest in Harajuku fashion, and I think I really wanted to get into decor for about 6 months before this happened. But I was always a bit unsure because, you know, the community was like fairly lonely. The year previous, there was one other Harajuku fashion walk, and there was a video about it, and I would watch that on loop. I wanted to be one of the people in that video, and so come my birthday, I was given some money, which I used to buy that little macaroon dress, and one of my family members actually got me that Gloomy Bear jacket from Harajuku when he
wow.
was
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is
Yeah.
really sweet.
And I already happened to own like a few weird bits and bobs here and there, and I did a bit of thrifting, and I put together this look, which is my first public attempt at decora. And, you know, I had always gone out in public dressed a little bit odd. And I had also in Australia, we have school uniforms, like even the state schools. So I didn't get to express myself much, but our school, like kawaii culture was a bit normalized because we had like a high Southeast Asian population. And yeah, and so I did. There was even like this store that would sell like cute accessories and stuff in the shopping center that was like a short walk away. So, you know, I collected things over like the few months leading up to the walk, and then I put together this look, and I was there, and it was the most validating experience for me because it really did teach me that we weren't alone, that I wasn't alone, even though it was like just the one annual event that we had at the time. Yeah, and you know, I met so many other wonderful people. I felt amazing in what I was wearing. I actually, the store where I got that dress from was at the South Bank Markets, and they had a store there as well. So after we had walked across the bridge and we were sort of just milling about doing our thing, I went to visit the lady at her store and showed her how I styled the dress, and she was absolutely thrilled.
Oh my gosh, you definitely made her day.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cute. Oh, imagine you run a store and like
Yeah,
youngin comes in your clothes.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I will literally cry, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah, but that was like really cool, and so, you know, it taught me that there are other people out there like me, and it taught me that also the general public wasn't going to be that mean to me about it. Like, no one was nasty about it. In general, Brisbane doesn't really care. Like, we're not a fashion forward city at all. We're not known for that, and I think that that's honestly such a powerful thing because, you know, it's one thing to like be worried about, like when you're worried that you're going to go out in public and people are going to be judging you and giving you weird looks and saying nasty things. To just see people react with such apathy is actually like quite empowering because you're like,
they have jobs to go to,
and no one's going to give me crap for it. Yay!
Yeah, this is what I call the first person syndrome. It's like you step outside and you're like, okay, I'm wearing 15 pairs of pants. They're gonna look at me. And it's like, no one cares. They have children and hobbies and other things. But yeah, for sure. Also, Cora, the third photo is my favorite photo. So truly the funniest.
Yeah, so my moment of confidence was not the first time I wore Lolita in public. It was actually one of the first times that I went outside of my main town to wear Lolita. So I live like in the capital of Wisconsin, and like you do get weird looks, but people are generally pretty chill. But this Lolita Meet that we went to was at Old World, Wisconsin, which is kind of a like historical site, and they also had themed activities for Halloween. Like there was a bonfire story night at the end of everything. They had a lot of really cool food and a lot of really cute little experiences as well. And I was really nervous because I don't really like going to rural areas, especially dressed in J fashion. And I don't know, I feel like I'm very obviously queer. Maybe I'm not to some people, but it very much feels that way. So when I was on top of, already feeling anxious in these spaces that I felt like weren't for me being queer, and then like wearing strange clothes in the middle of nowhere, I was like, oh, if someone like really didn't like it, or I don't know, wasn't accepting, then there wasn't really much I could do because I'm in the middle of nowhere and it took like a 2-hour drive to get there. But everyone was so sweet. There were a bunch of people wearing historical dress, as well as like a really big group of us from the comm went. So there ended up being almost 20 of us, and I don't have the photo here just out of respect for the rest of the comm so that they're not like uncomfortable or anything. But it was just so cool, like Cora was saying, to not feel alone in it, and to also have the locals and the people working there and everyone just being so sweet and so receptive to it. Yeah, it was a really, really great experience. And plus I got to wear my poofy witch dress with no genders.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, I feel like it ties, all of these themes tie into cosplay a lot too. Like I remember the first time, I was really excited the first time I did a cosplay. I think I want to say 12. It was definitely Yoruichi from Bleach. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
I spray painted. I had my hair in twists. Now they're in braids. I don't know if you can tell. They're in twists. And I just spray painted my hair purple. And
oh my goodness.
yeah, if I find pictures, I won't, obviously not, yes, Bleach. Obviously not in the presentation, but I'll share with you guys later. But yeah, I don't know, the feeling of nervousness when you get there, and then when you see that there's all these masses of people who have the same passions that you do, and they're probably feeling the exact same way. Like, as long as we talk about this stuff, it allows us those moments to be like, wait, no, I'm not crazy. Like, I'm a normal human being for feeling anxious or worried that there might be other people who are judging me, and yet there's so many people who are having the same thoughts, so we can comfort each other.
Yeah. I think there was also like at least one other panelist who said that they also wore a cosplay to school one time for something.
Yes.
Yeah, Lauren and I did that. For me, it was for an English assignment, and I wore my Hylia dress to play Juliet for some bonus scene that we wrote for the assignment. And what was yours, Lauren?
So not relevant at all to the class.
Okay, because I was gonna relate it back, but I don't want to waste too much time.
No, it definitely relates. So it's funny. We were reading I'm gonna forget the name of the novel. It was a classic novel, but I was dressed up as a Fire Emblem character, and just that specific Fire Emblem character would pass for a character from this novel. Aqua. It was Aqua. So like I had this long like blue wig, and I come in, and like people did not know that I was a cosplayer at all. Like we were I mean, I like to jazz it up with my clothes in school too, but I had not come in like full garb to class. So I walk in and they're like, "Wah." So I guess in those situations it's nice, because I don't know if I'd have been able to do something like that before, if I didn't like really believe in myself and kind of attach my, I don't know, mindset to what matters to me rather than, what other people are thinking, which is actually a strangely good segue to I didn't realize that was not scripted. That was not planned. So
Can I just say though, the person being like that one Miku or the resident Miku, that's a mood because I am the weirdo who plays Miku music and those rhythm games really loud. And all my roommates were like, "Really, this again?"
No, there's no judgment. Please.
Yeah. At my school, it was a bit more socially acceptable to like Hatsune Miku.
I was listening. I didn't have a Vocaloid phase, which I feel like is sad, but I was listening to Vocaloid the other day because I was writing a paper about it. And
That's so good.
I know. And it's a rabbit hole, so I understand why people are like, no, Miku is cool.
No shame. I got into Miku when I was in college. So like no judgment. I didn't have a middle school phase. I was just like, wow, this rhythm game is really cool. Wow, her outfits are really cool. I like this music.
Truly, we're thriving all the time. Miku is thriving all the time. But yes, so basically, Cora, Charlie, and I kind of gathered our main strategies that we use to face the challenges that we face or kind of like conquer them on our own. And we thought it might be nice to share those with you guys in case one of them really resonates. We'll have time to talk about other people's tricks or other people's fears too. So that'll come, I think, after this. But yeah, so mine is basically make a mantra and repeat it. So I kind of mentioned how like when I step outside, sometimes that anxiety can creep back at me. And I don't want to let that hold me back from putting together an outfit that I think could be really cool to walk around in. So basically, my mindset change was that, I'm not getting dressed in the morning and putting together all these different makeup looks because I want someone else to find them interesting. I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it because I know that I have a really creative heart. I do want to inspire other people, but I'm not really looking for the approval of that other person. When I walk outside in something interesting or different, I'm essentially giving permission to the other person who might be a little too scared to dress the way that they want to. Like I one of the saddest comments that I think I get pretty often actually is like, "Oh, I wish I could wear that," or like, "Where did you get it? I've always wanted to get it, but they haven't yet."
But like, you can.
Yeah, I know. I want to like grab their hand, but not because COVID. And like, I do want to grab her. I want to bump their elbow and show them the stores that I go to because like there are so many things that I think we feel that are holding us back, but it's not as big as we think it is. So basically when I'm standing at the door and I'm feeling a little nervous, like I should turn around and not wear what I want to wear, I say somebody needs you. And that's my mantra. And usually that's enough for me to be like, okay, well, this isn't about me. Like someone outside right now is going to see me and be like, oh, I've been wanting to wear, I don't know, 7 pairs of pants. I don't know why I keep using that as an example. I've never worn 7 pairs. Oh, well, I've been wanting to wear like a body harness that has wings on the back, but I've never seen anyone do it. I don't want to be a weirdo. So when I go outside and they see me doing that, then it's like, I'm there for them. So yeah. I think Cora, are you number 2?
Yeah, I am. And oh god, why is my dad playing stuff on the TV?
It's okay. You're dad.
I'm so sorry about this.
We can't hear him. We can't hear him at all. We only hear him.
Well, I put down. Yes. Oh, that's very true. Chew. Is that how I pronounce it? Chew? Okay. Anyway, I put down 2 strategies. So one is when getting ready, put on a song that hypes you up. Like it could be the opening of like your favorite magical girl anime. Personally, I like Keri Benito's Flamingo.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think that's like the perfect one for it because it's weird, it's quirky, it sounds kawaii, and and it's a song all about like being yourself and everything. If someone says something mean, remember that it is a them problem. I am fortunate to not get many comments, but whenever I do, they do ruin my day. But the only thing that stops them from ruining my week is remembering that I didn't actually do anything to deserve it. they did that. And frankly, they're just broadcasting to the whole world how much of a bad person they're acting like. Yeah, they're just broadcasting to the world how much. Am I? Sorry, I'm just like, is that too much of a cuss word to say right now?
A bad person? I don't think.
No, not bad person. I was gonna say, I was gonna say asshole, which I don't think is a bad word, but then like there was a little bit of a controversy with the Adrian Agrest Instagram.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
6
maybe.
week gave their blessing for you to curse, so feel free.
Okay, well, their broadcasts, if someone says something mean to you, especially in like some kind of public space, be it in person or online, they're just telling everyone else how much of an asshole they are.
Yeah,
You know,
the chat is so funny. Like if I look at the chat too long, I will probably explode because everyone's so funny. But yeah, to your point, Cora, I think, and we talked about this before. Like, I'm also pretty fortunate. I've never really gotten a comment that kind of left a lasting impression on me. Nothing that was so mean that I felt as though like this wasn't worth it. At the same time, I kind of pre-plan, which I think a lot of people do. Like, you know, you the possibility is still there. So it's best to have like a list of like what ifs, and then you have the, you know, what the strategies that you can use. But yeah, basically in my head, what happens if something like that, because I also have a history of being bullied, something, what goes in my head is like, they're in pain. And so they're speaking from pain. And so that it almost doesn't even involve me. Like they saw my outfit and maybe that like triggered something for them. It made them feel insecure. They felt like, you know, they were at the pits. So they wanted to bring me down there too. But in truth, like you're saying, Cora, you didn't do anything. Like I haven't done anything.
It's not about you.
Yeah, exactly, Charlie. So it's, I guess I just do my best to continue living my own truth and supporting actually that person if they let me. But yeah, it's definitely a personal venture.
Yeah, I used to work in social work, and I would work all manner of times of the day, and I would definitely get a lot of weird comments from people sometimes. And again, it's just one of those things, like, especially, you know, if you work in a field like that, they're in crisis, they're struggling. Like, I'm not going to hold whatever mindset they're in, you know, in their worst time. I'm not going to hold that against them.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people just don't know how to let out their emotions or their thoughts productively, and that just happens. And like y'all said, it's usually not an us thing, it's a them thing. As for my strategy, I usually say to try to experiment at home if you're not quite comfortable experimenting out in public yet. That is something that helped me really get comfortable. Since quarantine started, I really went ham on pastel kawaii stuff because I had never really, I wouldn't have worn something like this a year ago. I just wouldn't have done it. But I was like, you know what? I gained some weight. I need to get new clothes anyway. Let's just do this. And I do think, like we were saying, you should wear what you want, dress for yourself. We're adults. If I want to look like a heckin' Care Bear, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it at the gym. I'm gonna do it at school.
Yeah, and you can't stop me.
I do it at Target. Target is the main place of my showing out. Like I realized sometime I will literally just walk to Target just because I have figured out a new cord or something and be like, it's time. It's time to debut, truly.
Yeah, remember when like COVID, like back in March, everyone was dressing to the nines just for the grocery store?
Yeah. This is my only time to be outside. Truly.
Yeah,
yes.
but I mean, you can dress for yourself at home too. You don't have to be going somewhere. You can take cute pictures and, you know, still
the bathroom photo shoot.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And yeah, like even though even though we're talking about all these strategies and the way that we've kind of overcome our fears, I think we all felt that it was important to remind everyone that like that doesn't mean that everything stops. Like I'll still have days where I struggle with my own acne. I'm sure the rest of the panel has days where they'll struggle with their own stuff. And sometimes the tools will not work as well as they used to, but it's because they're making room for new tools. You always have that, I guess, ability to change your own strategies and make a whole new toolbox for who you become when you're growing as a person. So we are in this together. We're gonna work on it. Yeah. So we always these like microphone speeches at the end of these slides. We can't help ourselves. But anyway, so we figured it would be nice to ask the chat what fears you guys have encountered to kind of involve you in the conversation. Obviously, you don't have to share. If you're like, no, I would rather sit back, that's completely fine. But if you have one that you'd like us to talk about or kind of discuss for a little bit, that's completely okay. Yeah, and as Jade has just said, this is a brave space. So if you've never talked about it openly before and you'd like to, you're open to do that.
Yeah, if anyone's a meanie, I'll fight them.
I do. I have a umbrella that looks like a sword, and that is always what I think. I'm like, I swear, if I hear one mean comment, the sword is coming out. Oh, okay. Yes, and the team is here. It's Starchu has said being plus size and being POC, specifically Black, and fashion and cosplay is very tough and scary. Yes, I can take, I guess, the latter half of that if you guys want to take the, I don't know, the first. But yeah,
the plus size part, I definitely feel that struggle for sure.
Yeah. So first of all, you're not alone. I think with the return, or I guess the popularity of anime, like more and more people are being out about how much they love J fashion, video games, and all the like nerdy things. Usually, I'm kind of fortunate in that no one has really come to me and said like, hey, you're not allowed to portray that character because you're not the same skin color. Although I do know that happens, and we've actually been talking about that that problem and working on writing a piece about it. So first of all, thank you for bringing that topic up.
Yeah, we do actually have an upcoming comic just kind of addressing some fears, specifically with cosplay about, being plus size or being a different skin color than the character, or even being disabled and feeling like you can't be a part of it. So look forward to that.
Yes, we're definitely going to get into it. I think, at least for me, usually what helps is that I'm doing it because I love it. And it kind of ties back to the fact that I'm always having intentions to just serve myself, right? So like, no, I'm never going to be the same skin color as some of these other characters that I'm portraying, but I'm not trying to. That's not the goal. The goal is to do that character honor because they touched me, they touched my heart in a way that I'd like to represent at a convention. Again, I think, honestly, back to Cora's point about having the toolkit thing, if someone makes that comment to you, like they're speaking from a place of judgment, which is usually in some form a place of pain. And if they have a whole paragraph about, how you're not allowed to do something, but they don't even know your first name, that's not about you. That's about them and probably the fears that they have in their own heart. So hopefully that will help.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to Noodle Neko. So Noodle Neko said, like, when you see it, are you able to like bring it up, Lauren?
What is the one where it says when? Which comment?
The when you see a dress on a hanger.
When you see a dress on a hanger.
Yeah, I think Pirate RV's response that hangers are not bodies was really, really great, because hangers are just having the clothes limp. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna fill everything out with your beautiful curves, and that honestly to me is what makes the clothes, not, you know, what you think it should look like on this like stick mannequin that no one actually looks like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, like my mom, it's funny, it ties into thrift shopping. My mom and I went thrift shopping, I think maybe a week ago, and we found this one hoodie, and it looks like a square on the hanger. I kid you not. Like you hold it up and it's like, this will do nothing for me. But we bought it because my mother was looking for warmer clothing, and I put it on, and actually it falls, it like forms to your body to create like a witchy shape. So it hangs on. It's like definitely not made for the hanger because it looks so strange. But when you put it on, like to your point, Charlie, it's you're giving it that personality. Like you're giving it the flair. So yes, for sure. I think someone said facing judgment. I don't know if we want to.
We have an interesting comment from Hannah Anonymous. Sorry.
I love it.
Anonymous?
Hannah Anonymous. I don't know. But yeah, they said I live in a major city and have a really long history of street harassment. I'm kind of always terrified that people are going to shout things, say things, feel entitled to my time or attention, and it's really scary. That is so valid, and I wish I had something to say to that, because even though I've never been the victim of much street harassment, the truth is that I'm in a world where I'm constantly hearing that this is the kind of stuff that happens to women and female presenting people. So even though it doesn't happen to me, I'm always afraid that it would happen to me. So I get that, and I can definitely see how that can be such a detractor. And I think it's also like important to bring up that you should do whatever it takes to keep yourself safe first. And
Yeah, that's your top priority.
Yeah, and if you can figure out a way to feel safe and to express yourself, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I know the first few times that I went out with friends in public, and I know that might not always fix the problem, but it can definitely help you feel safer if you want to give it a try.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to say, in that the more of us that do this, the less power they have. Also, if someone is like yelling or shouting at you, the people know it's wrong. Like we live in a society, we know that it's wrong. So truly, for example, Hannah, if you were in public and that was happening to you, like I would walk up to you and make sure that you were okay. I think I have a strong faith in humanity, but I really do believe that as long as we're brave and we kind of work to protect each other, it will be okay. And you deserve to feel as though you can wear whatever you want, because why not? You deserve to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I think we'll do one more and then we'll.
Up 6, we did a really good one. I don't know if you saw any others.
One.
Where?
Up 6, we said, can we address dealing with judgment within our own community?
Oh, goodness. You guys are coming with the swingers, truly. These are great. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have felt this, but I definitely understand where you're coming from, especially in the Lolita community. We had someone in our comm who was very strict and quite rude, honestly, to the people who were gender nonconforming in the comm, or who didn't always follow the like strict rules of the silhouette. So like if you didn't have a very poofy petticoat, or if you were wearing like Converse, for instance, they would make rude comments about it. And I mean, at least in my experience, our comm knew that like that was not okay, and they called it out, because you know, you might not know why someone's wearing shoes like that. Maybe they're disabled and they can't wear like fancy heels. And even if they do just happen not to wear fancy heels, like I think they should still be allowed to wear Lolita. I don't think they should be judged for it.
And I think that's like, you brought up a great point, Charlie, which is that when you're the victim of the judgment, it can be really hard to stand up for yourself in that situation. But if you see someone else being the victim of the judgment, it's also really scary to speak up. But it's really important that you do. Like, sometimes if you're just like the first to say something, then that will inspire someone else who has also been silently not okay with that to speak up as well, and you might actually be really surprised. And it doesn't have to be like this big confrontational thing. It could just be like if someone says, "Oh my God, look, they're wearing sneakers with Lolita or something," you could just say, maybe they have like a foot condition, or they just really need to be comfortable that day, or like something to do with sensitivities. You never know what someone's reason for needing to wear sneakers are. And you can sort of like bring that up in that very non-confrontational way, and just sort of like, you're putting forward an alternate.
Like it could be you. It could have been you for sure. Yeah. So if you were a person who was like, I have this great question, and we kept talking, now's the time. Now's the time. Feel free to, I guess, address all of us, one of us, or. Yes, it's a really good point. We are, as a team for Kawaii Riot, we are working toward creating content and resources we can genuinely impact on the community for actually a lot of these topics. So it's really great that we're talking about this now. Yes, and there is the link.
Indeed.
What's next in your career as a main character? Actually, okay, this is I got a bike speaker, maybe not relevant to this panel, but actually no, I'll make it relevant. I got a bike speaker and I put it on my bike, and so obviously it plays the music out loud, but I only played anime openings, and I live right next to a like lakefront, so all I did was like ride on the lakefront with like glaring anime openings, and it was like the best thing in the world because I knew I live near a college, so any college kids that were like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure no one goes outside and they're like, I'm gonna hear anime, but it was nice to give them that moment and be confident enough to do it. Like I didn't care that people were looking or I don't know, giving me attention. So I guess the next venture is playing. Actually, Carol and Tuesday. I'm going to play Carol and Tuesday. Soundtrack on my speaker.
Hell yeah. We've got a question from Manon.
Yes, we did. Also, would you mind, though, going to the next slide? Some people asked about our social media.
Sure. I'll mention it, and we can just continue with the Q&A. So we have the Kawaii Riot information if you want to follow us as a team. There's more than 3 of us. Many more than 3 of us. So yeah, if you want to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, or if you'd like to email the team directly, that's the last link. Also, we have our individual socials. So like I can be found, my Mile of Kind thing. It's new. I have just created the Instagram and the Facebook for that one. So not hefty on content, but I will be there. And on Instagram, and on Facebook, you can follow me personally if you'd like to get to know me. Or I post more of my like fashion type of things on Area on Instagram, and that's the O is a 0. But yes.
Cora, do you want to take Manon's question?
Yeah, sure. So for future fashion goals, one thing I want to do once I have a job is something I've always been like afraid, kind of like really anxious about, is like learning how to do makeup, because number one, it's a consumable, and number two, I guess I've always been worried about like sort of, there's a lot of like overwhelming options out there. And number three, I've always been worried about, like, I'm fortunate to not really have any body image issues, but I'm worried that it could be the kind of thing where I'd have to be very careful, because it is an industry that, is meant to help women feel empowered, but it also thrives off making, like, well, I use women, but, pretty much anyone. but also thrives off making them feel insecure. But that is something I'd like to do once I have like a consistent income and feel like I can budget for it, and I have a routine again and can actually commit to stuff.
Yes, very, very, very
Feel free to hit
understandable.
me up.
Yeah.
Super understandable. I guess I don't know if it's a fashion goal, but I have a friend who's been doing like photo shoots. We wear masks, so to safe, and we keep 6 feet distance. But I think it's a fashion goal. I want to combine more of the things that I've just been wearing in public and actually document. Usually, I just take selfies because I can like do fun and creative things with them, but I want to document more of like the full look. So, oh, Starchy just said they followed everyone. Thank you.
Oh,
So I love
so
the colon and D's. Bring back colon D. I miss colon D.
Honestly, yeah. I feel like my fashion goals are definitely to keep delving into the pastel kawaii stuff. There are a few things I want to try. It's weird because I very much enjoy mixing pastel and goth, but I've also been quite into like vintage kind of historical inspired styles, and like mixing that in with elements of Lolita or like Warm. And so if I can find things in my size, that's always a struggle with vintage clothes and plus size, but I definitely want to do some experimenting for sure.
I'll probably be massacred for this, but I'm gonna pitch it anyway. If you found if you found like a very Victorian style dress and you not dip dyed, but like did the dyeing yourself, would it be possible to change the colors? I don't know a lot about clothing alternatives, but maybe if you're able to turn them into like a interesting pastel palette, I think that'd be really cool to see.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, I definitely like I don't know, the Lolita type blouses with the very pastel, a lot of them do tend to seem kind of Victorian inspired to me, like the billowing sleeves and the lace and the higher collars. So like I'm sure I could figure something out.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry.
Sorry, no, it's okay. Gamera at 83 said, "Did you see the nostalgic otome from Violet Fane?"
Oh, it was so pretty.
Great, I'm glad it was. I don't know. I will learn. I will learn. That's my homework.
Oh my goodness, they do a lot of really cool, creepy type stuff, but they recently did a nostalgic one that they mentioned that the head accessories, I'm just like, I know I don't really wear Lolita anymore, and I have nothing that would match this, but dang, is this cute.
I dream of the future where everyone is just shameless with what they wear because people are so creative. And just imagine like stepping outside and everyone has a different aesthetic. Like I would lose my mind. I would never be able to focus. But it's definitely that's what I want. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there as time passes.
Yes, if I made like a pastel chemise, that would be so cool.
No.
Yeah, I've been teaching myself how to sew, so I definitely want to get into historical sewing at some point.
Nice. I got a sewing machine, I think, this past Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah, so we can do it together. Also, we have a team member, Manon, who does really, really great clothing.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that little candy bag that they posted.
I know.
Y'all should check it out.
They're a thing now. Pre-order your candy bag. Do it. I would have gotten one if I didn't already have enough bags, but
truly, it's adorable. I love our team. It's so nice.
Normalizing wigs and petticoats.
Normalize wearing whatever you want. Normalize wearing Strawberry Skies designs.
Yes. No matter the gender, just do it. Do it. We have to create a future where the youth are unafraid and where you can wear tutus in corporate. That's my purpose.
Honestly, yeah. I'm like, mix all the styles.
As long as we're doing truly, I'm a pastel goth Lolita visual Kei rocker from.
Yeah, if I did Oh my goodness. I have so many weird ideas.
Truly, and we'll have to talk about them in the future. But yeah,
Yes,
I'm sad we have like 20 seconds left. This has been really great. This is actually my first time moderating a panel. Digitally, this is I know. Woo.
Yeah, it was my first panel too. So I
Yeah.
feel
Really. We love you guys. We really do. I mean that. I'm not just saying as fluffy words. And we can't wait to see you next time.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
Thank you for coming. Sleep well. Drink the water.
yes, don't forget to vote if you can.
Oh yeah,
and
Driving your ballot. Driving your ballot.
Yeah, good luck to all the people with the cute little pumpkin carving competition. I think that's next.
Aw. Yes. Vote like your heart lives depend on it.
Please.
Chicago for Lauren. Yes. Everyone's so sweet. Bye guys. I'm proud of you for being brave. You were really brave.
So
in this
proud.
chat. We talked about a lot of scary stuff, and then
We did, yes.
Yeah, and the chat's been absolutely lovely and funny.
Yeah, it was really a pleasure. Y'all made it so fun.
Yeah.
Bye.